What's going on, YouTube friends? I'm your host Joss. Welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Stay with me until the end of the video so you don't miss the new bonus content, and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm watching. Superhero movies are the golden treasure right now in the cinematic universe, which is a dream for many comic book fans. But some of the most interesting superhero movies are the ones we'll never get to see. This list is a tribute to all the projects out there that didn't make it onto the big screen. Here's a list of top 10 superhero movies you never got to see. Starting off our list, number 10 is Nicolas Cage as Superman. It's hard to picture anyone else playing the hero other than Henry Cavill, but rumors had us believing that we might have to. A rumor started spreading that Warner Brothers fired Cavill and that they were eyeing other actors to take on the role. We're still left wondering about that rumor mill, but there was once a point in time that the studio had cast Nicolas Cage as the hero. The film was being led by Tim Burton and was in the production stage when it was cancelled because there was another Superman film already happening during the same time. However, coincidence or not, that other Superman film was also cancelled. But fans have not forgotten how close they were to seeing Burton's version of the film with Cage taking the lead role. Can't say I'm personally upset about missing out on that one. I just can't picture him as being the superhero. Up next, number 9 is Spider-Man 4. Let's be honest, even though Spider-Man 3 was a success at the box office, it didn't receive the best reviews. But the director Sam Raimi chose to ignore that and still had some unfinished business when it came to the Spidey hero. He had plans to try and redeem the wrongs of the third movie and even followed up with Tobey Maguire and Bruce Campbell, who were set to make their return. It was also reported that Anne Hathaway and Rachel McAdams also auditioned for the role of Black Cat. James Vanderbilt was hired to write the new script, and the plan was to begin filming in 2010. However, things didn't go as planned, and Sony was apparently making a script for a reboot in case his fourth installment didn't work out. When Sam heard that news, he stepped down from the project and the franchise rebooted it as The Amazing Spider-Man. It officially marked the end of his era with Spider-Man. That's a shame, I would've liked that one. Meh, I would've. I like Tobey Maguire. Taking over the number 8 spot is Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern sequel. Everyone in the hero universe knows that his Green Lantern movie was a complete flop. It's the butt of most jokes, and Ryan totally agrees with it. The movie almost destroyed his acting career, it was that bad, and he definitely made up for it by blessing us with Deadpool. So when Warner Brothers announced that there would be a sequel to the film, fans were wondering if the actor was going to make his return for it. It was a hard no. Warner Brothers jokingly took it to Twitter and tweeted at Ryan asking him to return the supernatural powerful ring his character used in the movie. You can tell they were trying to keep it friendly, but Ryan is far too sarcastic and witty for that and turned into a savage for his response. He tweeted in response saying, "Well, if we used a Nuva ring in the first place, we wouldn't be in this mess. Hashtag Deadpool 2. For those who might not know what a Nuva ring is, it is a form of contraception, so he's basically saying to Warner Brothers that they shouldn't have let a Green Lantern movie to be born in the first place. Sliding to number 7 is Batman vs Superman. Over 15 years ago, Zack Snyder had the brilliant idea to pin the two heroes against each other in what could have been the greatest showdown of all time. Screenwriter Andrew Walker wrote a screenplay for a movie that was titled Asylum and had Batman and Superman fighting against one another. In his story, Batman's girlfriend was murdered by the Joker. Whoa. That leads to Batman blaming Superman for interfering with his vengeful plan. But the story was claimed to be too dark for that time period. A popular superhero writer named Akiva Goldsman was hired by the studio to make it a little more optimistic and lighthearted. But in the end, Warner Brothers canned the whole thing and launched both franchises separately. How cool would it have been to see the dark script brought to life though? I feel like they dropped the ball on this one, because we're really into dark stuff right now. Hence the Joker movie. What the f was that? In spot number 6 is Blade 4. The director of the series, David Goyer, like who knows. Originally planned for Blade 3 to be a post-apocalyptic tale set in a world that's inhabited by vampires. However, even though the first 2 movies were successful, they deemed the third project as too expensive, and that is why we got Blade Trinity instead, which we can admit was both a critical and a financial flop. Apparently David tried to bring his original idea back to the franchise after the flop, but because of his altercation with the actor Wesley Snipes, they had to can it. In case you're wondering what I mean about altercation, Snipes tried to choke David while working on a set together one day. David described the Blade 3 filming experience and said, "That was the most personally and professionally difficult and painful thing I've ever been through." Safe to say that his Blade 4 plan might have worked out if Wesley wasn't such a crazy person. Halfway through at number 5 is Green Arrow Escape from Supermax. Before CW's hit TV show Arrow existed, there was a film that never got developed, which is why the show was even able able to happen. Screenwriter David Goyer was set to write the screenplay for Green Arrow Escape from Supermax, and he was taking the lead on the project. It was back in 2008 when he was coming off the success of The Dark Knight, which he co-wrote with Christopher and Jonathan Nolan. Not much about the movie plot is known. The only thing we did find out was that it was going to have Oliver Queen in the infamous prison attempting to break out. By the sounds of it, it probably would have been a sweet movie, but at least fans got a TV series out of it. Here at number 4 we have Inhumans. Most fans would agree that one of the best Comic-Con presentations was when Marvel's president Kevin Feige revealed the movies that would make up Phase 3 of the MCU. Up on that list at the time was Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Captain America Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 4, and Inhumans. Now, most people don't know this, but Captain Marvel was actually supposed to be released in 2018 and then Inhumans in 2019. Clearly, those plans changed, and we aren't totally sure why. Captain Marvel was then moved up to a 2019 release, and instead of getting a movie, Inhumans was turned into a TV series. The show has been titled a critical failure and has many fans and critics calling it the worst thing Marvel has ever done. Moving on to number 3 we have Justice League Mortal. It was before the time that Warner Brothers created the DC Extended Universe that a Justice League movie was in development. Back in 2009, director George Miller was at the front and center of the project. You might think it's a strange idea seeing that Christopher Nolan was already killing it with his Batman films and taking the comic book world by storm, but apparently the Justice League movies was going to have a very different Batman. The movie was meant to be an adaptation of the Mark Waid's Tower of Babel and based on the Justice League Unlimited animated series. Miller wanted to make the group of heroes more complex than the DCEU's Justice League already had at the time. Some images leaked on Twitter of the superhero suit's art, and most fans were saying that it looked terrible. So maybe this was for the best. In spot number 2 is Wesley Snipes' Black Panther. There's no denying that Ryan Coogler's Black Panther movie was a huge breakthrough in Hollywood. It wasn't the first black superhero to come onto the Marvel screen, but people have said that it was the most important. Fans seem to be really pleased with the adaptation and the performance of the hero, but they might not know that they almost got another one back in 1992. It had the one and only Wesley Snipes on board to star as the Wakandan warrior. Snipes has spoken about it, saying that his movie was inspired by African martial arts and would have been set in, I quote, a very rich, culturally diverse hole. But the project didn't make it past the writing stage, which was okay for him in the end because he was in another black superhero movie a few years later, and a successful one at that, which we just talked about. It would have been cool though to see him as Black Panther, before he went all crazy. In our number 1 spot is Jack Black's Green Lantern, because what in the actual hell? The fact that this was even a thing is still kind of mind-boggling to me. It was back in 2004 and Jack Black was confirmed to be taking on the role to play the Ring Slinger. The studio had announced at the time that they were going to put a spin on the script as a light comedy, so who better to have than Jack Black? Robert Smigel was writing the script and had the idea that the power ring didn't have to be worn by only one specific hero, it could be worn by anybody with enough bravery. But once the script was leaked to the internet and word spread about his casting, fans came out with guns blazing and they received a ton of backlash from it. It was so hostile that the whole project was taken down, but later on Smigel spoke with Vanity Fair and admitted that he can totally see why his take on the hero would not have worked. Am I the only one who'd actually love to see it? Simply just to see how bad it would have been. Alright guys, that is it for today. There is our list. Let me know which movie you guys wish came out and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. For now, let's finish off the video with some comment shoutouts. Alex Townley says, I wish y'all had top 10 music and food channels, lol. Hey, do not count us out yet. I would totally be down to just eat food every day and talk about it. Radical Rainbow says, the vegetable I don't like is Donald Trump. Well, he does look like a carrot. This was great. Jody Lamar says, love the extra clip. I'm happy you like it. Everyone seems to really enjoy me messing up my script all the time. Nick JD says, like your videos, they are fun to watch, love this channel. Thanks Nick, you're the best. We made it to the end here you guys. You can find us on social media, our links are down below. I've been your host Joss and I will see you next time. That's clever. I would never ever think of that. He's a clever man. I love Ryan Reynolds. Screenwriter David S. Goyer, hopefully I'm saying that right, was set to write the screenplay for Green Arrow. Why are you laughing? Is it Goyer? Oh, it is Goyer. I said Goyer, yes.